The whole thing blew up because of a shelf. Not even an important shelf either. Just one of those cheap wall shelves Lena ordered online because she said she was done living like a raccoon with organized piles on the floor. She called me after work and said, "Bring tools and patience. I only have one of those." So I went over like I always did. That was our thing. No planning, no big setup. We were just in each other's lives all the time. If something good happened, I heard about it first. If something bad happened, same thing. If she saw a weird dog on the street, I got a picture. If I had a terrible day, she somehow knew from the way I answered with one word instead of three. We'd known each other so long that I honestly couldn't tell you where being friends ended and being attached started. It had just always been there. When I got to her apartment, she opened the door in old gray sweatpants, socks that didn't match, and one of my hoodies from like 2 years earlier that she had quietly stolen and never returned. "You're late," she said. "I'm 4 minutes late. You're a different person after 3. Then maybe you should be grateful I came before the full transformation." She stepped aside and let me in. "The shelf is in the kitchen. The disaster is everywhere else." That was normal too. Her talking like that. Me answering right back. We had this rhythm that never felt forced. No trying to impress each other. No awkward pauses. I could walk into her place, open her fridge, tell her coffee order before she said it, and know from one look whether she was actually fine or just doing that thing where she pretended to be fine but cleaned aggressively. The shelf box was on the floor, half opened, tools scattered around it like she'd already lost patience and declared war. "You started without me?" I asked. "I believed in myself for 12 minutes, she said. "It was a mistake." I laughed and got to work. She sat on the counter at first, reading the instructions out loud in the most insulting voice possible, like the manual had personally offended her. Then she hopped down and started handing me screws and holding pieces in place. We kept bumping shoulders in the tiny kitchen, arguing about where the shelf should go, whether plants counted as decoration or emotional support, and why she owned 4 candles that all smelled almost exactly the same. "They're not the same," she said. "This one is cedar vanilla. This one is smoked vanilla. That one is soft cashmere. That is not a smell. It is if you have taste. I have taste. That's why I know all 3 of these are just candle-flavored lies." She laughed and shoved my arm, and I had this random stupid thought I'd had 100 times before, which was that being around her made even boring stuff feel fun. Grocery runs with her were somehow entertaining. Waiting in line with her was entertaining. She makes even the boring things feel like an adventure. If you're enjoying our story, hit like and subscribe for more. Helping her build cheap furniture that clearly wanted us dead was entertaining. I never really examined that too hard. I just accepted it. That was probably part of the problem. We took a break halfway through because she claimed I was giving off stressed contractor energy. She made us sandwiches, and we stood in the kitchen eating like we'd done this exact thing our whole lives. She asked about a date I'd gone on the week before. I told her it was fine, which was true and also not true. Fine was usually the problem. Most of my dates were fine. Nice enough, pretty enough, easy enough. And still, somehow, I always ended up back in Lena's kitchen talking about them like none of it had really touched me. She gave me a look over her sandwich. "So you're not seeing her again? That obvious? You used the word fine twice. That bad, huh? That dead?" I grinned. "Good thing I still have you." She looked down, hiding a smile. "Unfortunately for you, we went back to the shelf." I finally got the brackets on straight, and she stood under it with her hands on her hips like she was supervising a major construction project. "You know," I said, "I do all this husband-level labor for free. You should really appreciate me more." She snorted. "Husband-level labor? You hung 1 shelf. 1 shelf today. Last month I fixed your sink. Before that I carried a couch up 3 flights of stairs. You complained the entire time. I still did it. That's commitment." She turned to say something, and I don't know why I said it exactly. It was just one of our usual lines, one of those jokes we threw around whenever things got a little too close to real. I pointed at the shelf and said, "Honestly, maybe you should just marry me and save us both the trouble." Normally she would have laughed before I even finished the sentence. Normally she would have said something like, "Wow, your ego is insane," or "Sorry, I need someone taller for my fake future." Something easy, something safe. But she didn't laugh. She just went still. Not dramatic, not huge, just still enough that I felt it immediately. I smiled at first because I thought maybe she was about to hit me with a better joke. But then I saw her face, and something in my chest shifted. She looked at me for a second, then at the floor, then back at me. And really quietly, she said, "I thought you were never going to ask for real." I actually laughed once, out of confusion more than anything. "What?" She swallowed. Her voice stayed calm, but I could hear the strain in it now, like she'd been holding something heavy for way too long. "I'm serious," she said. "I can't really do this joke with you anymore." The kitchen suddenly